The biggest thing really everybody always asks, what's the biggest change, Coach, from when you're in college football last time to this time, is the 2 scrimmage rule, right? So to have only 2 opportunities to scrimmage, full go scrimmage before the opener means we had to maximize today. And there's a lot of really good things out there. There are things we definitely have to improve. Came out of it relatively healthy. Don't have anything that's going to be long-term. Couple guys, nicks and bangs. We'll get the report on that. But really like the way they competed. We worked primarily on early downs, a little bit on second and third down, and had some red area work. So worked the kicking game, worked punt, field goal, kick cover as well. So like the work they got in. We'll finish out the rest of this week with really just a lot of basic install to get us where we need to be, and then next Monday will be a much more advanced game, realistic, really all downs, all situations, kicking downs, and then about midweek next week on Wednesday, Thursday, we'll really begin to transition into our Nebraska preparation. So exciting time, guys are working, and hopefully keep moving forward.
Is this a time when guys start to separate themselves on the depth chart, or is there still a long ways to go with that?
No, I think there is. We put a huge importance on today. Guys, we went ones, twos. We wanted to bring the competition to 3s at the end. I really thought, certain guys stepped forward. New guy, a lot of new faces in here, right? Not necessarily new faces to the program, but guys we haven't seen. Today was the first time I saw Jake Hansen in live action, Alex Palcho in live action, Mike Epstein in live action. And then you got all the transfers, right? Haven't seen Casey Washington until today. Haven't been able to see Kalon Tolson, right? Another guy that got out there on the field. So there's a lot of newness for us coaches, which is really fun to watch and see, and then to see it ignite their teammates. And each position group's got a couple guys that probably move forward, and there's some guys that probably stayed back.
Do you go full go on it? Do you tackle in these scrimmages?
Oh yeah. We had full
ones and ones are tackling.
We had 1836. We had 72 snaps before halftime of live old American football, live tackling, live blocking. Football games really get down to 3 things: how you run with the ball, how you tackle the ball, and how you get on and off blocks. Really, all downs kind of pertain to that. I don't care if it's, obviously kicking down's a little bit different, but even in the return game and the coverage game, that's what it boils down to. So I thought our guys have locked into that. They know the answers. Now they got to be able to give them.
Second week, what's different than the first week?
I think the leadership probably comes up. We voted in Illini Council, so there's 13 guys that elected to that. We haven't done captains yet, but you can begin to see guys that when they speak, people listen, right? And especially in those moments of adversity, those moments when things could be going one way and they got to be brought back. I think that we can continue to grow on that. You see some of the young guys emerge, especially not necessarily just today, but over the last couple of days, guys that step up and make plays. So just got to kind of continue to separate and bring guys around.
Talk about Jordan being a long-term injury. Is there any other long-term injuries?
Nope. Nothing long-term. And I'm trying to think. As of right now, there isn't anybody that wouldn't be available in the opener that reported to camp. A lot could obviously change between now and Nebraska, but anybody that's restricted right now is due to be back before really game prep.
Did your coaches evaluate this scrimmage like they would a game, like grading out?
Yeah, absolutely. Like great question. So our coaches, our players, we didn't necessarily split up the coaches as we would on game day, but next week we will. But this week, or this one, especially when the ones were out there, I really had our coaches have low volume. I wanted them to, kind of treat it as a game day environment. I wanted to see what our ones knew and what they're able to handle as the game unfolded in front of them. We had officials out there today, right? So a lot of first down play, second down play, third down. Didn't know where the ball was going, so it also made our coaches, right, made Tony and Ryan call plays and everything else. So
would next week be the day where you maybe put somebody up in the box and see how that works?
We did that for a couple scrimmages in the spring, so it's not like an emergency on us. But I think on Tuesday or Monday of next week, we will at least have the modification of what coaches would be on the sidelines in the box during the actual scrimmage segment. But we'll have a mock game, basically 8 days out from our opener. It won't necessarily be that one won't be tackle football. It can't be, right? We can only have one more tackle scrimmage. So that one will be a mock game that will it'd be exactly what you're talking about. Cheerleader, band, people, everybody will be in the crowd.
What's it like 118 on the roster?
Are we at 118?
Yeah.
Yeah, we at.
Is that what?
You counted 118 guys in that 10 minutes you had? You're better than me.
What can you tell us about the quarterbacks? You weren't tackling them, were you?
No, we didn't tackle the quarterbacks. And then the other day we did a drill where the offensive players went to the defensive coaches, the defensive players went to the offensive coaches and learned the respective sides. So offensive players went to defense, learned how to tackle, how to leverage the ball, how to get off blocks and make plays. Offensive players went to the defensive coaches. Defensive players went to the offense coaches, learned how to get ball security, how to catch and be able to recover a football. So, but when we did that, the quarterbacks didn't tackle, but they heard every aspect of it because at some point they might have to. But no, we didn't tackle the orange shirts today. But I would think, BP did some very good things, did some things that we want to correct. I would say Art, same boat. Ryan Johnson, Matt, Samari Collier actually got in there and had some juice at the end when we went threes and Devo. So those guys are all kind of moving in the right direction.
You mentioned Brandon doing things that are good and things that you maybe kind of want to work on. How much has his improved level of confidence maybe help him stay confident on the field when things aren't going well?
Well, I think the big thing for BP is, right, you got to, and again, you learn a lot from your players. BP's got to work with the group that he's going to be thrown to, right? So our number one wide receivers, number one tight ends, the more work they get, I think the more confident he'll be in correcting a situation or an issue. I know today there was a play where I saw him talking to a wide receiver after the snap about where he wanted or where he thought the ball or the route should have been. So, again, this is just a continuing evolution of new wide receivers in addition to potentially a couple new quarterbacks as well. So BP is handling it, all right? I think anytime you're dealing with the number one quarterback, you got to realize that, whoever's in there, whether it be Brian, Art, Matt, whoever it is, they're in charge, right? Tony can't be out there, I can't be out there. That number one quarterback's in there with the number one offense. They're responsible for that action.
But just to be back in a football world with fewer COVID restrictions, just in terms of what you guys can do, what's that mean for you guys to know each other, for the players to spend time, and then maybe have a little normalcy outside of the facility? There
is, but there's also, COVID's, protocols in the building. Fortunately, our guys have been really good, about that. Our guys that weren't vaccinated continue to get moving in that direction. I will say it's good to be in football. As of Saturday, all of our guys are done with all their class requirements. So now they're really truly just in fall camp until we start up game week. But yeah, I think being around each other, getting to know each other, have some fun. But it's also, it's not a bed of roses, right? Everybody's got to get after one another a little bit and understand coaching points. But yeah, this group I think they like each other. I think you don't have to like your coach, but you got to respect your coach. I think there's good respect.
The wide receiver room changed a lot.
Yeah.
One guy who's a holdover is Brian Hightower.
Yeah.
What have you noticed from him?
I think Brian's had a good camp to this date, right? Through practice 7. He's a big receiver that shows up in big ways. I think he's got to, kind of own the moment where he's at, whether it be red area, whether it be a third down play. He should be a good early down receiver as well. I think the receivers that kind of stand out, obviously Isaiah, Donnie, Casey Washington, Hightower, Davion Campbell had a couple things pop up last week. I know I'm going to forget a couple, but there's some guys stepping up in that room that you're excited to see what they do.
I know you like what Poucho was bringing to the table, even during recovery. Now that you actually get to see him out there, I know it's relatively limited, but what did you? It
was fun. We had him actually had a pitch count for those 3 guys, for Poucho, Epstein, Mike, Poucho, and Kalon all had a pitch count today. They all went out and I think handled it. I haven't seen the film yet, but I kind of knew when they were going in, so I kind of watched it. Mike had a nice play, bounced for a touchdown, so I know he's got some of his juice that I've never seen live before. And Poucho just, he's a big body out there. He's a good-looking player, and Kalon Tolson is a explosive, dynamic, athletic guy that it's fun. So yeah, it's good to get those guys out there and get their demeanor.
Were you able to mix and match some guys today, just from a chemistry standpoint? I know you've got still a lot of competition up and down the depth chart.
Mix them. You mean just it was really just ones, twos. When the ones were out there was a certain expectation of number of people that we wanted to feel confident that they were going to go in. And part of your obligation is not only what you do, but the partnership with the guy next to you, right? So if I'm at right guard, I got to know that the center has my back and the right tackle has my back, right? And vice versa. So yeah, we rolled a lot of bodies through there. It wasn't just 11 guys playing with the ones. We rolled a lot of guys through with the ones and twos. I thought our defense really played with great energy. We're very active. We're around the football, communicated. The things we always kind of stress and talk about, right? That we just, before we can win games, we can't lose games, right? Penalties, mental errors, and turnovers have adverse effect on results, and that's what we got to make sure we eliminate.
You seem to have a competition in safety.
Yeah.
What do you like about those guys, and what do you need out of those guys?
Yeah, you know, for the most part, probably have a pool of about 4 guys that really, you know, factor in. And I know today I saw a play where, you know, Sidney Brown shot across formation, made a nice routine play. Quan's continued to be very impressive. Prather was limited today, so he wasn't out there. You know, but there's and Kirby is another guy that those 4 guys, maybe a couple of freshmen. When we went Devo at the end, Karan Taylor came over and made a nice play. So it's kind of fun to see a kid that's, you know, doing something different, have a little bit of success, and it was fun to watch that.
Last question, guys.
Where does Eddie
Yeah, Eddie. I'm sorry, Eddie's probably the next guy in that same booth, but he can also kind of like Prather Hudson play a star / safety. Those 3 guys all together kind of play that same position. Thank you.
Thanks,